Vandeham Shri Guru Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganatam Vitam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Shri Chaitanya Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurandalitam Jena Asmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yarvaita Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare. Okay, so click on here and wait a moment. The correct title is Srimad Bhagavatam, most junior scripture with the senior most thought. I wasn't so far wrong, Devashis.
No, Maharaj, you weren't wrong at all. No.
No. I mean,
junior most devotee. You said first of all. So that just.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't mean to. So that was definitely a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, it just tickled me a little bit.
Well, when we're over 45 years old, sometimes these things happen. A slip.
Yes, indeed.
Don't they, Anjali? Yes. Okay, Anjali is nodding. Dear devotees, all the way from Australia and all the way around the world to also the southern hemisphere of Brazil, and we have translations into Portuguese and into Russian. So we're very grateful to our translators. And Devashis Prabhu, over to you, the secretary of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, London chapter.
Thank you, Maharaj. My Dandavat Pranam to everybody, and I'm very happy to see Maharaj in the West London Mott. Maharaj, being an Englishman, should rightfully be in England, but anyway, he is now, so we're happy for that for a short time. So yeah, this quote is actually from Srila Guru Maharaj. And I don't even know quite where it is, but I remember very clearly, and even if it is published, I don't know, but I remember very clearly these words from Guru Maharaj: the junior most scripture with the senior most thought. And it's good for us to have some discussion regarding Srimad Bhagavatam and some proper understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. What can you say? Like an introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, because we are followers of the Bhagavat school of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That means that our Siddhanta is based on Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, he very clearly stated that Srimad Bhagavatam is the prime evidence, the prime truth, the prime siddhanta of our religion, of all religion. Actually, it is the essence of all religion, and it is Srimad Bhagavatam is also called the Amala Purana, which means the spotless Purana. And that is because right from the very beginning, everything and anything that's superfluous to the perfect understanding of spiritual life is eliminated from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can understand that the author of Srimad Bhagavatam is Vedavyas. And Vedavyas, he is often known as the literary incarnation of the Lord. So he is empowered to compile all of the Vedic literature into book form, because he could understand that at the end of Dwapara Yuga, after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, when Krishna withdrew his Leela from the world, then he understood the approaching Kali Yuga means that if something isn't written down, then it will be lost. Previously, in previous ages, Dwapara, Treta, Satya Yuga, people didn't need any books. They would just hear something once and they would remember it. So, of course, in modern times, in our times, that may be called eidentic memory, where somebody has that, they can see something or hear something and remember it and reproduce it perfectly. But that they're considered something as savants, or like almost abnormal. But previously, everyone had that ability. They could just hear something once, see something once, they would remember it always perfectly. But not so in Kali Yuga. And we know that for sure, right? We can't even remember. Well, when you get a little older, you walk into a room and you think, what have I come in here for? Just forgotten why I came in here, what I've come in here for, to retrace your steps. So what to speak of, anything else? We can't remember what we did a few days ago. Our memory is so poor. So Vedavyas understood this, that this would be a symptom of the Kali age, and therefore he took the task to record all of the Vedic literature, the Veda, the Purana, the Upanishads, the Itihasas, the everything that was extant at that time into written form. And he is known as the compiler of the Vedas, not the author of the Vedas, because the Vedas themselves are coming in revelation, but they're often transmitted through many various sages and saints and kings and so many different methods by which they've appeared in the world. And so Vedavyas was collecting all of those and having them committed to book form, if you like. So, but finally, when all of that was complete, he's not feeling satisfaction in his heart. He's thinking, I did what I was meant to do, what I was tasked to do, my divine purpose. I did that, but still I'm not feeling full satisfaction. In fact, I'm feeling something opposite of that, and I cannot understand it. And at that time, his Gurudev, Devarshi Narad, the great sage who wanders throughout the universe playing on his veena, the glories of Lord Krishna. He's singing the glories of Lord Krishna and playing his veena and going from place to place. And he is the guru of Vedavyas. So at that time, understanding what was the problem that his disciple was feeling, he appeared in the ashram of Vyasadeva, and Vedavyas, he opened himself up to Narad. Why am I not feeling satisfaction after I did everything that I was tasked to do? Why am I not feeling some completion for that? And Narad said, yes, of course, this is why I have come. So what you have done, that is all well and good, but what you have done is you've created a jungle of scripture. Anyone trying to navigate that, trying to find out what is the supreme absolute truth, the one absolute truth, they're going to become completely confused, because various, different Vedic scriptures are aimed at different audiences. So in some scripture, it's telling that that Narayan is the supreme personality of Godhead. And in other scriptures, it's telling, no, Mahadev is the supreme, or Indra is the supreme, or Devi is the supreme, or the goal of life is to meditate on the impersonal Brahman aspect of divinity. All of these different opinions are given in different scriptures, and how to navigate that, impossible. That's why Narad says, a jungle, you made a jungle. So what you've actually done in committing everything to written form is you've done a disservice to humanity, because you have not stressed what is the perfect conclusion. Maybe you've hinted at it here and there and given it here and there even, but you have not given that perfect understanding anywhere. And of course, Vedavyas's authority is recognized by everyone. Anyone that follows any school of Vedic religion, they accept Vedavyas as the supreme authority. So then Narad said, so now you begin your work, your book, your composition. Not what anyone else has given, you give that. So if we consider, that Vyasadeva, he is also a person of who's progressive, dynamic, not stagnant, not fixed in one place. So that means that after all of that time, and it must have taken some time to compile all of that Vedic literature, now he's at the peak of his own spiritual realization. His own spiritual knowledge has fructified, and of course that must be so if he's been transcribing all of the Vedic literature, compiling all of the Vedic literature. So he's at the height of his own spiritual realization. So then Narad said, so what you have given so far is general religion, and that is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And every religion teaches this. Every religion teaches these four principles, whether it's Vedic religion or whether it's Judaic religion, Christian religion, Muslim religion. Every religion teaches this. Maybe they use different terminology, but the same idea. Dharma means you follow your religion, and God will be happy with you and will bless you. And that blessing will come in the form of Artha. Artha means prosperity. You'll become prosperous. You'll become prosperous by following your religion. And when you're prosperous, then you can get karma, not karma with an R, but karma, K-A-M-A, karma. That means sense pleasure. The result of prosperity is sense pleasure. You'll be able to eat nicely. You'll be able to live comfortably. You'll be able to have happy family. All of these things will all come as a result of your following your religion. And then finally, moksha. You'll get liberation from this world, whatever that your idea of moksha might be, go to heaven or, whatever it is. But this is all general. What you've neglected to emphasize is the very fact that all religious teaching is meant to bring us to an understanding of our own soul's necessity, of our own food, as Guru Maharaj says. The soul needs its own food, and the food of the soul is ecstasy. Ecstasy, not any kind of material ecstasy, but spiritual ecstasy, which means Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is the fifth aim and the pure goal of life, of any life. I was going to say human life, but any life. whether you be a human being or a god or whatever it may be, the ultimate goal of life must be the fulfillment of your soul, and your soul can only get its fulfillment in Krishna Prema, which comes to us in the form of divine eternal service to the Lord, ecstatic service to the Lord. So this is what you need to be telling the people. So you begin your work and compile your, you can say, opus Dei, the work of your life. And that is Srimad Bhagavatam. And right at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, they're dismissed as being Kaitabya. Kaitabya means cheating religion. They may be all very well in their relative position, but they are not the ultimate goal of life. It's like giving a baby a rubber dummy rather than giving a baby milk from the breast. It's cheating. So, then we have to think what is necessary for the soul. And this is what Vedavyas has compiled. From the first chapter, the first verses of Srimad Bhagavatam to the very last, he's come to show the ultimate goal of life, and which is Krishna consciousness. And that, of course, is in its ultimate sense, Guru Maharaj has informed us, Srila Sridhar Maharaj has informed us, that every word of Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to be, or meant to lead us to, the worship and glorification of Srimati Radharani. Although, in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, her name is not mentioned there. Guru Maharaj said that Shukadev, when he's speaking the Bhagavatam, he went to tell her name, but withdrew back. And why he drew back? Because he's thinking the audience, they're not fit to hear that, to hear her name. What can that mean? That those sages that gathered there around Maharaj Parikshit, they were the supreme authority of all the different schools of religious thought at that time. These were great sages, mystics, yogis, Raja Rishis. They come from all over. But still, Shukadev was thinking, no, they are not fit to hear her name. And so then it makes me think, like, what about us? How come we've heard all these things? And we can only say that is only possible by the grace and mercy of Sri Chaitanya Dev. Sri Chaitanya Dev, Guru Maharaj said, like, he broke the locks of the storehouse of love of God and distributed that freely to everyone, even to people like us or somebody like me. Then we got to hear her name and understand from Guru Maharaj, a little bit understanding, maybe we don't fully understand, but that the ultimate goal of life is service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And this is the message and the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Vedavyas has composed that just for the clarification and the perfect understanding of human beings in this world. We've come to hear something about Srimad Bhagavatam and to try to understand something about Srimad Bhagavatam. And of course, not only are we grateful to Chaitanya Dev for giving this to us, we recognize that without his connection, we will not be able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So also it's told, the book Bhagavat, the person Bhagavat. So the book Bhagavat is Srimad Bhagavatam. And the person Bhagavat is the devotee who follows the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavat Vaishnava, who is the very embodiment of Srimad Bhagavatam, of the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's called the person Bhagavat. And of the two, for us, in our fallen condition, the person Bhagavat is most essential. And because the book is passive, if we read something in the book and misunderstand it, the book won't correct us. Or even if we're reading the book and we fall asleep while we're reading it, the book won't give us a shake and wake us up. But the person Bhagavat will do both those things. This is what I understand from reading this. Is it correct? No, it is not correct. This is the correct understanding according to our acharyas. The Bhagavat, person Bhagavat will inform us. And Prabhu, you're falling asleep in the Bhagavatam class, then wake up, stand up, splash some water on your face, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And to hear Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. One of the 5 processes that Mahaprabhu considered to be essential to devotional service, Bhagavat Seva, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and to serve the Bhagavat devotees. So Srimad Bhagavatam is indispensable in the life of an aspiring Vaishnava, and the service of the Bhagavat devotee as much, even more indispensable to the aspiring Vaishnavas. So this is something we heard from Srila Guru Maharaj. Some things we heard from him about Srimad Bhagavatam, how it became about, how it manifested, why it manifested, and why it is so essentially important to our understanding of spiritual truth. So that's my contribution for today. Thank you all for listening to me, and I'm sure there are other devotees here who can give some more light on this subject, especially Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. I'm sure he can give us some deeper insight, things that he heard from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj on this very important subject matter. Jai Gurudev, Hare Krishna.
Jai Devashis Prabhu, ki Jai. Much obliged. Everybody's nourished. And the most sensible things I say are when I'm reading. And actually, I gave a little note for the translators, and I guessed that you would be reading this today. So you've given me the opportunity to be the reader, as if Devashish Prabhu. So I guessed wrongly, but here we are. Sometimes I guess rightly. So you can check the translators. If you just see what's on the Google Drive, you'll see. So, Prabhu and all devotees, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to read something from Religion of the Heart by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Santa Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So, of course, Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
So, Vedavyas has mentioned everything in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Santa Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. Vedavyas has mentioned everything in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but very cautiously. And actually, Devashish, he's been covering many of these points, of course. But here I'm reading Gurudev's words. Shukadev Goswami was just a 16-year-old boy. So how much could he express in front of the older rishis? Even though they were all highly qualified in Madhura Ras, they could not taste what Shukadev Goswami had given. Vedavyas himself commented about Shukadev Goswami. Remember, Vedavyas is the father, Shukadev is the son, Vedavyas is the guru, Shukadev is a disciple. So Vedavyas himself commented about Shukadev Goswami that after hearing the pastimes of Krishna Lila, he became mad with ecstasy and then went back to his father to hear the rest of Krishna Lila that he had not presented in full. What is given in Srimad Bhagavatam is the gist of Krishna Lila, and it is sufficient. No other scripture can cross over the prestige of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyas himself, as well as other rishis, have mentioned in other Puranas that it is a full manifestation of Sri Krishna. We can see the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam in this way. So we cannot deny the highest prestige of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadev Goswami has given the gist of what he hesitated to reveal in full in that assembly. And in that way, he has fulfilled the desire of Lord Krishna and Radharani. And Mahaprabhu came to give the glories of Radharani. He came to give honor to what was not given in this material world before. And then the famous verse that Devashish Prabhu probably knows by heart, this Anapita Charing Chirat Karunaya Vatina Kalau Samapayit Tum Unnatojvala Rasam Sva Bhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Juti Kadamba Sandipitaha Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Va
Sachinandana.
So this is from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, a book which I'm sure you all know, Adi Leela. So, and not only did Mahaprabhu give what was not given before, he gave what was not given in any material universe as well. And there are millions of material universes in the sky. Nowhere were the glories of Radharani given before Mahaprabhu came. And this is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said clearly, if you will search for evidential records of this, you will be considered foolish. If you search for evidential records of this, you will be considered foolish, because the Srimad Bhagavatam is the junior most scripture, but the senior most thought. After the scriptures, so why, and also we may think, why junior most scripture? Junior most because it came last. So when children are born, the junior most child is the last child to be born. So the whole of the Vedas, as we heard, have been collected, compiled by Veda Vyas. So they are old and collected together. And then this new scripture, if you like, the youngest of the scriptures, the junior most scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, was born in the analogy of children being born. It appeared to the world. It was manifest in the world. So, not a long reading, but something more. So, after, yes, you see, Devashish was mentioned these points very much. Okay, I'm going to slow just a little bit down, because Devashish has covered these colloquially and covered very nicely what Srila Gurudev is mentioning, and Srila Gurudev is quoting from Srila Guru Maharaj. And then Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Govindra says, so this is the subtitle, Secret of the Bhagavat. Secret of the Bhagavat. So this is Gurudev speaking again. Sometimes a little suspicion may come to the mind of a pure devotee as to why Radharani's name is not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Guru Maharaj has given us this theory in one of his original shlokas. And this shloka is Yad Amiya Mahima Shri Bhagavatya Katayam. Now, I'll spare you my reading the rest of that verse. But Srila Gurudev quotes this verse and then says, in every letter and every shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the name of Radharani is glorified, but we cannot see her particular form there. The play of the sweet absolute takes place in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so it is not possible that Radharani's name is not mentioned there. But everywhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Radharani is glorified, but we cannot see her full form there because Shukadev Goswami is hiding her a little bit. It is like the marriage system in India. When an Indian girl is married, she always covers her head with a cloth. And when a senior, honorable person comes, she pulls the cloth over her head a little more. So this is also the style of Srimad Bhagavatam, to conceal Radharani, yet reveal her. Such idea is included in that shloka of Srila Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So this seniormost thought, the conclusion of all the scriptures, Radha Dasyam, Radha Krishna Dasyam, is given there in Srimad Bhagavatam, the seniormost thought, yet the youngest of the scriptures. I do have another couple of quotes. If you like, I can come to Srila Guru Maharaj. So excerpt 3 at the bottom of the page for those who are translating. Are we good? Okay. Got there. Okay. So, okay. So this is a short quote from Srila Guru Maharaj. And he, Srila Guru Maharaj, is quoting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Math. So he's saying, Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Math had to begin his fight almost single-handedly against the whole of the world, against all the different stages of culture ever known to the world. His only support was Srimad Bhagavatam and Sriman Mahaprabhu. And I chose this quote because it just illustrates like the super importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Guru Maharaj is explaining that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Thakur had two things, the book and the distributor of that book, if you like, means Sriman Mahaprabhu, who highlighted Srimad Bhagavatam and its message. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Thakur, his only support for this preaching was Srimad Bhagavatam and Sriman Mahaprabhu. He proceeded with heart within and God overhead, an expression we heard from Srila Guru Maharaj on several occasions. On his head was Mahaprabhu and Bhagavatam. He stood alone to fight out their cause. Not only did he want to fight in Bengal, the province of Mahaprabhu, and not only in India, but he wanted to fight outside as well. He wanted to attack the highest position of the present civilization, the Western world, the scientific civilization. They are so proud with their present achievements. But Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada wanted to break down the whole structure of the present false civilization. He wanted to demolish it and construct a divine temple over the ruins. He wanted to construct a temple of God over the mundane world. He wanted to construct a temple of God over the mundane world. He wanted to present not any half-truth, but the fullest, in his words, full-fledged theism, in accordance with Srimad Bhagavatam. We are not to stop halfway or be satisfied with partial progress, but we are to only engage in wholesale dealings, and that is given by Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Should I tell you what that is? Should you want me to keep reading? I mean, I can. I can read the rest of the book if you like. But I mean, I'll read one more paragraph. It's not very long. Because, I mean, as we say, after all, we are here to hear Gurudev and Guru Maharaj's message. We're here to hear Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's message. So I'll read one more paragraph. So, I mean, this excerpt really showing the supremacy, the fullest, the deepest, what was the expression at the beginning? I said, whatever it was, supermost thought of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is using this for full-fledged, not any half thing or partial thing, but the whole thing. So, and Srimad Bhagavatam has given this full-fledged theism. Avismriti Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Srila Guru Maharaj saying, the conception of theism follows these lines. It is continual existence under the holy protection of the divine feet of Krishna. To maintain one's life of continuous engagement with all sorts of activities, while thinking, the guide is upon my head, the divine feet of Krishna are upon my head. With this attitude, we can easily remove what is foreign within us in no time at all. So much encouragement coming from Guru Maharaj here too. The continual remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet, of Krishna's connection, will in no time disperse all the difficulties along the way, as well as all meanness and all that is not dignified. Our Srila Guru Maharaj said, the Gaudiya Mat stands for the dignity of the human race. We are to understand that slavery to Krishna is a most dignified position. And everything against that ideal is meanness. The only standard of life for a gentleman is to understand and accept the position of subordination to the absolute truth. To admit what is proper and real, and on that basis make one's life advanced, is not meanness. To understand one's proper position and to understand one's proper duty and discharge it, that is a gentleman's life. To accept what is truth. What is considered to be meanness will be removed very soon. And what is really for our welfare and beneficial to us, that will increase. So, this is some explanation of the supremacy of Srimad Bhagavatam. And at the same time, the message of what the Bhagavatam and Mahaprabhu are giving. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us the conclusion of knowledge of Veda, and Sriman Mahaprabhu is giving us this conclusion and showing it from the scriptures and focusing on Srimad Bhagavatam where that is being given in a, well, I was going to say concise form, in a relatively concise form, compared with the vast ocean of the Vedas and all the different departments. The Srimad Bhagavatam is giving us our essential reading of the purpose of the Vedas, which is bhakti, devotion. So anyway, beautiful things. And again, just another thought that I wanted to mention today too, was the Srimad Bhagavatam. We should read from the beginning and go to the very end and not miss any part out if we are to go through Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is 18,000 verses, and there Srila Prabhupada is carefully guarding us and guiding us as we read through. But we've got the essential teachings of Bhagavatam in the discourses of Guru Maharaj, in the discourses of Gurudev, and the discourses of Srila Prabhupada. We have the essential teachings. And as we read there at the end, after Srila Guru Maharaj is glorifying Bhagavatam, what's the Bhagavatam telling us? That we need to have a continuous life, a life of continuous remembrance of the Lord, whatever we're doing. And this sloka, Prabhu kohe kohelan e mahamantra, saying whether you are sleeping, whether you are eating, whether you're getting up, moving around, whatever you do, which covers 24 hours in your day, because you're always doing something, especially sleeping, eating, and moving around. Whatever you do, take the name of Krishna. So we have a very practical reality, a practical journey to go to a wonderful journey to a wonderful place. And what more can we say when really we see maybe junior most scripture in terms of the Veda, but with the senior most, yes, okay, got it, senior most thought that Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna combined, Radha Krishna themselves, selecting, pointing out, showing this scripture. And in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, it says that after the disappearance of Krishna, after Krishna withdrew his Leela 5,000 years ago, and so much he showed to the world, to the universe, after he withdrew from his Leela, then he remains in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna combined, that topmost combination, they are showing us Bhagavatam. And this is the super fortune for us all, that Mahaprabhu's showing, revealing the Bhagavatam and its message is presented now to this whole world through Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Math and the ambassadors of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswat Math, headed by Guru Maharaj, headed by Srila Prabhupada, headed by Srila Gurudev. And hence we all here on the two screens, the three screens in front of us. I have to scroll through the screens to get myself purified by seeing the names on the other screens here. But on three screens in front of us and in the recording too, that we are coming to hear about Bhagavatam in the proper way through the channel of Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, the Rupa Nuga Sampradaya, and the extensive talks and transmission of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. And here we are. We must try to keep ourselves very conscious of their message and of our fortune, and keep ourselves away from all unfavorable things and keep ourselves in the track of the favorable things. Hare Krishna. And I have no idea what time it is because I don't have a clock in front. But Devashis, this is my few words for today. Oh, 1918, we've got some time. We have, okay, Devashis, over to you. We have Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu here, or had. If I do some yoga, I can see him behind. We have Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu here, and I don't fully know who's here, but I have a mouse with a short tail in front of me. And so, and anyway, Devashis, you can see better than me, and so please, you continue. I'm in London on the London Zoom. How about?
And there was a question in the chat, I think, as well. I saw came up briefly.
Chat.
Someone have that, because I
Zoom. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Oh, well. Chat. Oh, question.
yeah.
So from Vijay Krishna, also in London. So we have a London question from East London, the other end of the Elizabeth line. So Vijay Krishna was asking, can we see Srimad Bhagavatam through the light of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Yes. What's the link between the two, if there is any? Oh, well, I mean, the answer is yes, and absolutely connected. And I can say just a couple of lines and then I give to Devashis, because what I can say is we've heard from Guru Maharaj that the scriptures, including Srimad Bhagavatam, I mean, the main focus is Srimad Bhagavatam, no doubt. But there are other scriptures with which we don't read, the Ujjvala Nilamani and various books we do not read. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving us the very essence, the very substance, and he's revealing some of these hidden items from Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. But very carefully, and Srila Guru Maharaj said that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami presented Krishna Leela with the backing of all of these quotations and scriptures. But he presented Krishna Leela in such a way that it cannot be misunderstood. And then Srila Guru Maharaj said, but still there are those who insist to misunderstand. Okay. So, I mean, with that understanding, we can see that yes, Chaitanya Charitamrita, again, read in the devotional way, will give us really the insight into the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Prabhu. So Devashis Prabhu can continue the answer.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, of course. The question is answers itself, really. Yeah, that it. In fact, not only can we should see Srimad Bhagavatam through the light of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and through Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you like, Chaitanya Charitamrita is the account of Srimad Bhagavatam personified. We can say Mahaprabhu is the personification of Chaitanya Bhagavat. The Bhagavat devotee is Sri Chaitanya Dev. So his Leela shows us that. His Leela gives us the real import and the real meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. And as Srila Guru Maharaj says, if you give your full attention to the Leela of Sri Chaitanya Dev, then automatically, without any other alternative or extraneous endeavor, you must find yourself very quickly awaken in Vrindavan, in the midst of the Leela of Radha and Krishna, which is given to us by Srimad Bhagavatam. That comes almost automatically, not almost, completely, will come automatically if we give our full attention to Sri Chaitanya Dev. He is everything. And of course, if we try to focus on Krishna without Chaitanya Dev, then we are actually fooling ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. And in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says this, very clearly and very almost in a very stark way. There are a few passages where he says, one is, he says, those who worship Radha and Krishna but do not accept the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev, then they create only evil in the world. That is an extremely heavy statement. That who worships Radha and Krishna but do not give any attention to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Dev, they make only evil in the world. Now that's how serious it is that we should always give our attention to Mahaprabhu. And not only that, in another place, Chaitanya Bhagavat, then Vrindavan Das says, you can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra lifetime after lifetime after lifetime and never get Krishna Prema. But if you once call out the names of Gauranitai, then that Krishna Prema will come searching for you. So this is a really amazing, wonderful thing that we hear from Vrindavan Das Thakur. And Vrindavan Das Thakur, we heard Guru Maharaj explaining once the difference between Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, and why, for us, Chaitanya Charitamrita is more important than Chaitanya Bhagavat. Of course, Chaitanya Bhagavat is supremely important, but, and I'm sure it's a clue to why Srila Prabhupada gave so much attention to his translation of Chaitanya Charitamrita, because what Vrindavan Das has given, he gives just the pure Leela, basically, of Mahaprabhu. And Guru Maharaj said the Sahajas, they like that very much, because they can extrapolate so many bogus things from that. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he underlays everything that he says with deep philosophy and scriptural reference that cannot be misconceived, as Maharaj just mentioned. But but there are those who still have to misconceive what they read there. But it is, for us, it's a much safer approach, Chaitanya Charitamrita, because of that philosophical, you can say, foundation that Krishnadas Kaviraj gives, especially in the Adi Leela. That's very prominent there. And of course, we find the whole Ramananda Sambad, which Srila Guru Maharaj said is the very, foundation of and zenith of the Krishna conception of divinity. So both are important, and what Vrindavan Das says, and not just that, many places he says that, but we can take that for sure, that if we give our attention to Mahaprabhu, to Chaitanya Dev, then very soon we will find ourselves awake within the Leela of Radha and Govinda and the Vrindavan Dharma. We will see that as our real home, our spiritual home. So yes, that's what I wanted to say about that. The answer to that question.
Sure, thank you, Prabhu.
So Maharaj, we're drawing to a close now, I think, huh?
Yes, Prabhu, unless any question from somebody or something anyone would like to just in a brief way contribute. Hare Krishna. So let us, Radha Pandit Prabhu came. Well, I thought you were. I did my yoga. I saw you, but then on the screen I couldn't see you again. I thought you'd left the room. Hare Krishna.
Madhusudan Maharaj, I have a little question.
Okay, well, Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu is here. Maybe he can come and be visible. Ramananda Prabhu, tell us your question.
So like Gurudev mentioned all the time, the Trinadapi Sunichena Tororapi Srishnana Amani na Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So how that fit in with all this?
Well, in one word, I would. I'm not answering. Okay, I'll give you one word, and I'll then ask Gadadhar Pandit. I can just say perfectly. It fits in perfectly. Okay, Gadadhar Pandit Prabhu.
To the question, or
Oh yes,
just
well,
general?
I think to the question, Ramananda.
Because the
Prabhu,
question just slipped my mind about Trinadapi Sunichena, but
How does
in
it?
what context?
How does it fit into the Srimad Bhagavatam?
Well, in the sense that Trinadapi Sunichena is the injunction to cultivate an attitude and a general approach of giving honor, exercising humility, tolerance, and there's no desire for honor for oneself. That is the general approach for all spiritual practice, including the approach to the study of literature. So there's a book, Bhagavat, and there's the person, Bhagavat. So if Trinadapi Sunichena is essential in the interface of oneself with the person, Bhagavat, then it must also apply to the book, Bhagavat.
Okay.
And in this context, it is essential that if we are to make a comparison between the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, then although they're both crucial, we can say, or of utmost importance in spiritual life, at the end of the day, the person Bhagavat has to be given priority over the book Bhagavat. Because the book Bhagavat is liable, as was mentioned, to misinterpretation. It's liable to misconstruction because we're filtering it through our own prejudices and polluted consciousness. Whereas the person Bhagavat can present the book Bhagavat exactly as it needs to be appreciated and learned by the audience that they're presenting it to. So, and also certain parts can be emphasized and certain evolutionary kind of presentations can be made. So the book Bhagavat can be represented exactly as it needs to be done in any given time or place by the person Bhagavat. And the appreciation or the approach to the book Bhagavat must necessarily be done through such a lens, through such a filter. That is why when Raghunath Bhatta Goswami visits Mahaprabhu twice in Jagannath Puri, he is instructed to learn the Srimad Bhagavatam. Specifically, Mahaprabhu emphasizes from a Vaishnav who is conversant with the conclusions of the Bhagavatam, who is practicing, who is living the Bhagavatam. In other words, the Bhagavatam needs to be appreciated from through the person Bhagavat to teach it. We also have the other famous example of Srinivasacharya, who is told to learn Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. Again, Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. Again, another clear directive that to appreciate properly the book Bhagavat, it needs to be done through the person Bhagavat. So then we have, how do we approach the person Bhagavat? It's through Trinadapi Sunichena. So there's the link. That's my understanding of how that Trinadapi Sunichena relates to the Srimad Bhagavatam and its understanding and appreciation.
And Ramananda Prabhu, it's the age of humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. Mahaprabhu's weapon was this, and Mahaprabhu's weapon was the holy name. So, when we have got Srimad Bhagavatam, when we've got the embodiment of the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam in Radha Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then everywhere, humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. And we know this from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, the universal principle. So it's perfectly presented in our approach to these subjects. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Gadadhar Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Govinda Govinda, chant Hare Krishna, Ramananda Prabhu, and be happy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Prabhupada remind again and again, chant and be happy. Chant, dance and be happy. See, Prabhupada makes so easy, simple. I don't know, we complicate things, I guess. I listened Prabhupada lecture, he said just chant and be happy.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, Devashis Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj. Well, again, my obeisance and affection to everybody that's tuned in and everyone else that may be watching this later on, the recorded version. And until next week, we will, when we can meet again, we just give our obeisance to our Guru Dev Om Vishnupad. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bhagya Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai all the assembled Vaishnavas Ki Jai. All the world devotees Ki Jai. Samadeta Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Shri Devashis Prabhu Ki Jai. We take we're in English, we take off our British hats to the translators for their hard work. So welcome to the translators and also all the devotees for being here, all much appreciated.
Thank you,
Vanchakapurubhyascha Kripasindubiya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Oh, Namah.
Okay, bye-bye to everybody. London, West London, saying bye-bye. East London, bye-bye. And all departments of London around the world, bye-bye. See you all soon. Chant Hare Krishna. A wonderful evening with you all. Dandavat Pranam.